اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر هوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشية، وعلى جوارها صعد إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذنعة. ما هكذا بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا ربي، وأنت تعلم ضعفي قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، ألا أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكسو يسير بكاء كثير مدته، فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي، فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستقيم؟ يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور عليك أشكو، ولما منها زج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته، فلئن سيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي، صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني صبرت على هر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجاء عفوك عفوك عفوك؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لن تركتني ناتكا، لا زجن عليك بين أهل هذا جيج العاملين، ولا أصرخن عليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولو نادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين وقلوب الصادقين، يا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاك طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يزج عليك زجيج معمل رحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل عليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي، فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يعمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يهرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوتها وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفها؟ أم كيف يتكلكل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه؟ أم كيف تجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رب؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في إتقه منها فتتركه فيها هيهات؟ ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عملت بالموحدين من برك وإحسانك، فباليقين أقتل لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاهديك، وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك، لجلت نارا كلها بردا والسلام، وما كان لأحد فيها مكرا ولا مقام، لكنك تقدست أسماك، أقسمت أن تملها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد في المعاندين، وأن تجلسنا وقلت مبتدعا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما. أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي هتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته كتمته أو أعلنته أخفيته أو أظهرته وكل سيئة أمرت بأصباته الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جواره وكنت أنت رقيب علي من ورائهم وشهد لما خفي عنهم وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته وأن توفر هذي من كل خير أنزلته أو إحسان فضلته أو بر نشرته أو رزق بسطته أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رزقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا عليما بذري ومسكنتي يا عليما بفقري وفاقتي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وعظم صفاتك وأسمعك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي يا من عليه شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب قوي على خدمتك جواره واجدد على لزيمة جوانه وحبلي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاستسال بخدمتك حتى إسراها عليك في ميادين السابقين أسرع عليك في البارزين واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فارده ومن كادني فكده واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك أقربهم منزلة منك وخصهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك واتف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك وجل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وأقلني أسرتي واغفر لي زلتي فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وزمنت لهم الإجابة فعليك يا رب نصبت وجهي وعليك يا رب مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني منايا ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاه البكاء يا سابق النعم يا دافع النقام يا نور المستفشين في الظلم يا عالما لا يؤلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله ولا تفعل بما نحن أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من عليه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا صلوات الله اللهم بحق محمد أنت المحمود اللهم بحق علي أنت الأعلى اللهم بحق فاطمة زهرة أنت فاطر السماوات والأرض اللهم بحق الحسن أنت المحسن اللهم بحق الحسين أنت قديم الإحسان يا قاضي الحاجات اقضي حاجات المؤمنين والمؤمنات يا شافي الأمراض اشف مرضانا المؤمنين والمؤمنات يا رازق زيادة في الرزق بركة في الرزق صحة في الجسم توبة قبل الموت مغفرة بعد الموت نجاة من النار دخولا في الجنة عافية في الدنيا والآخرة إنك على كل شيء قدير رحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات خصوصا sponsor of the tonight بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين
आज के जो मजलिस के स्पॉन्सर हैं अमिक मोमिन, इनके महरूमीन के लिए फ़ातह की दरख्वास्त है मोहम्मद यूनुस आबिद अली मोमिन, हसनैन बानो मोमिन और महरूमीन शमीम रिजवी के महरूमीन के लिए एक हमद और 3 बार कुल वाला पढ़ के हदिया फरमा दें। Now I'd like to invite Brother Maulana Sayyid Hussain Kazwani to come on the member and recite for the speech for the Mu'mineen. Kabila की सेहत और सलामती के लिए एक बुलंद तर सलावत। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Nothing is more important than being healthy. One of Allah's greatest gifts to us is to be healthy, is to have the gift of health. If not, the greatest gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give any human being is to be healthy, free of illness, free of diseases. We saw in the past 2 years the pandemic that took the world by storm, and we lost many members from our communities. So many people died in this pandemic. we truly realize the gift of remaining healthy. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, "As-sahhatu afdalun na'am." Health is the best of all gifts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give anyone. And he also says, "Bis-sahhati tustakmalu ladha." With health, you can enjoy life. You can see how enjoyable life is by being healthy. If you're healthy, you will enjoy life. If you're not healthy, you don't enjoy anything. He also says, "An-na'imu fi dunya al-amnu wa sahhatul jism." Real bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the real gift is two. In dunya, there's two main gifts that Allah Azza wa Jal can give any person. Number one is security, safety and security, feeling safe. There are some countries you don't feel safe. At home, you can't sleep safely at home. At any moment, someone might attack you. You go out in the morning, you can't ensure that you will come back safely at night. Safety and security is a gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. This is one. Two, وَصَحَّةُ الْجِسْمِ. And to be healthy, your body is healthy. These are two gifts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give in this dunya. وَتَمَامُ النِّعْمَةِ فِي الْآخِرَةِ دُخُولُ الْجَنَّةِ. This is the gift of Allah in dunya. Safety and security. Safety and security and health. As for the akhirah, entering paradise, there's no greater gift than that. طيب. You can't enjoy life without being healthy. Even if you're the wealthiest person on earth. Even if you're Elon Musk and you own billions, but you're not healthy. You own so many homes, so many estates, so many lands, cars, but you're not healthy. You won't enjoy any of it. You won't enjoy your wealth. You can't travel. You can go to so many restaurants, but you can't eat. Maybe you own hundreds of restaurants, but if you can't eat at any of them, what good is that? You can't travel. You have the money to travel across the world. You might even own a plane. But if you are not healthy and you can't travel, what good is that? If you are healthy, thank Allah Azza wa Jal. Thank Allah Azza wa Jal for the gift of being healthy. There are some that are willing to pay millions to have the health that you do. The meal that we eat, simple meal with some spices, there are some people, they can't have this meal. They own millions of dollars, but the simple meal that we have, they can't. They're willing to pay millions to eat what we eat. You might not be wealthy, but if you're healthy, you have it all. Because the one who is wealthy is willing to spend all of his wealth just to be as healthy as you are. So the health that we have, it's priceless. It's priceless. It's worth millions of dollars, millions of pounds. طيب. May illness be far from all of us, inshallah. Illness is of two kinds. One kind is physical illness. God forbid, having cancer, having heart disease, having liver disease, kidney failure, having diabetes, having high cholesterol. This is physical illness. And people, when they are physically ill, they seek treatment. They go to the professionals. They go to a doctor. They seek the right treatment. They seek the right medication. There's another type of illness, and that is mental illness. Mental illness. Mental illness can include depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, having bipolar disorder. These are all mental illnesses. And perhaps a mental illness is worse than physical illness. Because with physical illness, people, they go out and they seek treatment. They go to the professionals and they seek treatment. After a while, they're okay. But many people, when it comes to mental illness, they don't seek treatment. They don't go to the professionals. And they don't go to doctors. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, "Ala wa inna min al-bala'i al-faqa." From trials and tribulations is poverty. وَأَشَدُّ مِنَ الْفَاقَةِ. There is something worse than poverty. مَرَضُ الْبَدَنِ. To be ill, physically ill, that is worse than poverty. وَأَشَدُّ مِنْ مَرَضِ الْبَدَنِ. And something worse than physical illness, مَرَضُ الْقَلْبِ. To be mentally ill. مرض Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says the illness of the heart, which he means is mental illness. Mental illness. طيب. Many people, they care for their physical health. They exercise, they go to the gym, they take their medications. They have medications that they have to take in the morning. There's medication that they have to take in the evening. They care for their medical health. As soon as they have an issue, they go to the doctor. You know, we saw during the pandemic, people were wearing masks. They would wash their hands. They would stay 6 feet apart. Why? Because this is a physical illness. But as for mental illness, unfortunately, some people refuse to seek professional help. They refuse to take medication. They refuse to seek treatment. They say, they believe that this is a taboo. This is a taboo. Me? I have a mental illness? You want me to go to the doctor? No way. No. You want me to take medication for depression? No. What will people say? What will my community say? What will my neighbors say? My in-laws say? I can't go to the doctor for a mental illness. I can't be treated for depression. This is, you know, I'm not crazy. No one told you you're crazy. Mental illness, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you're insane. There are some mental illnesses like depression. Depression can be cured. Maybe with a pill. By seeking the right treatment, going to the right professional, it could be treated. No one says that you're insane. No one says that you're crazy. Fortunately, there's a taboo on this topic, the topic of mental health. And there are many in our communities, in the Pakistani community, in the Iraqi community, in the Iranian community, in the African American community, they suffer from mental health and there's no support for them. No one supports them. No one guides them. And it's a taboo to seek help. It's a taboo. They either think they're crazy, they're afraid people will think that they're crazy, or, you know, they're afraid what will people say and think. This is a mistake. As family and as friends, we should encourage community members that are suffering from mental illness in seeking professional help. طيب. What are some mental health issues that many people suffer from? Here in America, outside, in our communities, in other communities, what are the main mental health issues that we see and people are suffering from? Number one, depression. There's a great deal amount of people that suffer from depression. Maybe you know some, maybe I know some, maybe we, at some point in our lives, we underwent depression for reasons that we will talk about in a couple of minutes. Maybe I went through depression. Maybe you went through depression. Maybe we know people that undergo depression. You see a lot of people in the community, they might have depression, but we don't know it. They live silently in pain because someone who has depression doesn't carry a sign and says, I have depression. Some of them, they do a good job of hiding it. They put on a smile. They're always smiling. You know, they put a smoke screen. They smile all the time. They speak to you in a gentle way. They're kind human beings, but at home, inside, they're suffering. We don't know them. There's a lot of people that suffer. Some even contemplate committing suicide because of their depression. Here in the United States of America, 18 million adults suffer from depression. That is 1 in every 10 adults. They suffer from depression. 18 million. That's a big number. It is the leading depression is the leading cause of disability for ages 15 and 44. It causes disability. You can't work. You don't want to leave the house. You sit at home. You're unemployed. This is all causes of these are results of depression. And depression is the primary reason why someone dies of suicide about every 12 minutes. Every 12 minutes, a person in the United States commits suicide because of depression. That is over 41,000 people a year that commit suicide because of depression here in the United States of America, in the wealthiest country, the most powerful country in the world. It doesn't have a civil war. We don't have ISIS attacking us here on our soil. You know, there's no smugglers, there's no people attacking our homes. We live relatively comfortable lives, yet 41,000 people annually, they commit suicide because of depression. Now, of course, the amount of people that commit suicide is more than 41,000. There's a lot more. There's people that commit suicide for several reasons. But those who commit suicide because of depression are 41,000 people. In comparison, less than 16,000 people die of homicides, of murders. Imagine, 16,000 people regularly die in the United States because of homicides, but 41,000 die because of suicides caused by depression. طيب. Depression causes 490 million disability days from work each year in the United States. 490 million days caused by depression. People do not attend work. If we count each person who's depressed in the United States and how many days they miss work, it accounts to 490 million disability days. It also accounts for $23 billion lost in work days each year because of depression. Because people suffer from depression, they don't come to work. If we were to count the money that is lost because of depression, because of disability, and they don't come to work, it accounts to $23 billion a year only in the United States of America. And it takes an economic toll over $100 billion each year from U.S. businesses, because a person who's depressed is not going to go out shopping, is not going to buy a brand new car, is not going to buy a new house, they're not going to go rent a new apartment, and so it takes a toll on the economy. $100 billion in losses every year in the United States because of depression. طيب. Internationally, depression also affects 300 million people worldwide, regardless of culture, regardless of nationality, regardless of race, gender, economic status. 300 million people worldwide suffer from depression. And severe depression is rated in the same disability category as terminal stage cancer. Imagine if a person is in a terminal stage cancer, stage 4 or stage 5. Are they able to work? No, they're disabled. Severe depression is as dangerous as stage 5 cancer. The same way that a stage 5 cancer patient cannot go out to work and is completely, disabled, same way those who suffer from this severe depression. طيب, this is only one mental illness. This is only one mental health issue that we deal with, depression. You have bipolar disorder. You have postpartum depression. Postpartum depression occurs when women give birth. Postpartum, after giving birth, some women go through depression, and it affects them. It affects their lives, the way they function at home. It affects them. There's a percentage of women, about 15% of women after labor, they go through postpartum depression. طيب. There is post-traumatic stress disorder known as PTSD. PTSD is trauma, stress caused by trauma after, for example, a terrorist attack, after, la samahallah, if a female is attacked physically, sexually, she's attacked. This causes stress. This causes major stress. It could affect her for many years to come. After domestic violence, mugging, a natural disaster, a human-made disaster. This causes PTSD in some individuals. And this is a mental health problem. This also can affect many individuals and set them off and harm them. طيب. We talked about suicide. Suicide is a major problem here in the United States of America. On average, 110 Americans take their lives on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Today, Thursday, that ended, on average, 110 Americans took their lives. They committed suicide. This is a major problem. طيب. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. 110 Americans commit suicide on a daily basis, roughly on average, and 3,500 attempt to do so. You know, there's people, they attempt to commit suicide, but it doesn't work out. Either the police come, or their family members, they stop them, or they're trying to jump off a cliff or a bridge and someone stops them, but they're attempting. They're attempting to commit suicide. 3,500 on a daily basis. On a daily basis here in the United States of America. طيب. Why are mental health issues on the rise? Why is it that 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we didn't need to discuss this topic? Why is it that today it's a major problem, not just in America, but all across the world? All across the world. Mental health issues is a major problem today. Why? You know why? Life used to be simple. Life wasn't complicated. There wasn't travel. There were no planes. There was no social media. There were no cars. People lived in small villages. You would get to know the people in your village. And that's it. The pressures of life were very simple. There was no pressure in life. Today, with the advancement of technology, with traveling, with credit cards, with mortgages, with inflation, pressures of life have increased. Every person feels a lot of pressure. Life has become complicated. The pressures of life today take a toll on our mental health. It starts with schools, exams, papers. It starts with children. As you go into middle school and in high school, there's a lot of high school students that suffer from mental health issues. The stress of school, the stress of exams, the stress of papers. It could cause them depression. It could cause them anxiety. This didn't exist in the past. Expenses, living expenses have increased. Look at the gas prices today. Last year, around this time, gas prices were $4 and something, $4.60, $4.70. Today, you won't find anything cheaper than $6 a gallon. Some might fill up an entire tank for $100. $100. Previously, several years ago, you could go on for $100 for an entire month. Now, every 4 days, fill up $100, $100, $100. Paying mortgages, finding cars, financing cars, credit cards. We spend, and the bills keep on coming. This causes pressure. This puts pressure. The quality of life, because here in the United States, the quality of life is high, but you have to pay. Nothing comes for free. Nothing here is for free. You want to live a comfortable life, a quality life, you have to pay for everything. From the smallest, from your house to the smallest thing that you own, you have to pay for it. طيب. Paying these bills, paying the mortgages, paying credit cards. Unemployment. There's some people, they lost their jobs, especially during the pandemic. They lost their jobs. They were let go. This causes mental health issues. This causes anxiety. It causes stress. It causes depression. There are some people that can't get married because of their situation, where they live. They haven't found the right person to get married. This takes a toll on our mental health, especially if the community keeps on asking them, are you married? Oh, no, you're still not married? Oh, how old are you? Oh, You're 35 and you're still not married? Why? You know, when we keep on asking those that are not married, and we keep on asking them, and we put pressure on them, and they smile, of course, they're not rude to us, they smile back, but it takes a toll on them. It causes them depression, it causes them anxiety, it causes them stress. This is a mistake. طيب, the pandemic caused a lot of stress. The pandemic took a toll on our mental health. Wars, when we hear about wars in Ukraine, in Yemen, and this also affects the economy as well. Wars affect the economy. This takes a toll. All of this, and we live in a secure, safe country. There's no civil war. There's no problems. Now imagine those that are living in Pakistan. Imagine those that are living in Iraq. Those that are living in Lebanon. These countries where even their currency has lost its value. Has lost its value. It has no value. In Lebanon, $100 several years ago, $100 was equivalent to 150 liras. Today, $100 in Lebanon is equivalent to 2,000 liras. 2,800 liras. Imagine. The same thing happened in Turkey. The same thing happened in Iran. The local currencies have lost their value. Imagine, there are some people there, they work an entire month, their salary is $100. Is $100. Today, $100 for us, it's peanut change. It's change in our pocket. They live off of $100 the entire month. Imagine they work, they get up early in the morning at 5, at 6, they go to work, they come back late in the evening, their paycheck is $100. After all of this, in addition to lack of electricity, here alhamdulillah we have electricity. Here, the thought of not having electricity is, you know, our children, they've never heard of this. But for us back home in Iraq, it's something normal. And in fact, having electricity is a leisure. It's leisure. Most of the time, we don't have electricity. And the same thing is in Lebanon, is in Syria. I don't know about Pakistan. Right? Not having electricity. Wars, civil wars, bombings. Friday, here you come in Sajjadia, alhamdulillah, you don't worry about someone coming in with a rifle or with a machine gun killing you. But in Afghanistan, you do. In Pakistan, you do. In Iraq, you do. You worry about all of that. After all of this, you want them to be comfortable? No mental health issues? Impossible. Impossible. All of these issues, they take a toll on our mental health. They cause depression, they cause anxiety, they cause stress. Unfortunately, we human beings, whether in Corona, California, or in San Francisco, or in New York, or in London, or in Karachi, or in Baghdad, we human beings, the more we are advancing technologically, the more we are going back in mental health problems. The more we are suffering from depression. Believe me, if you read stories about our grandparents, do you think our grandparents had depression? No, they had beautiful lives. They had simple lives. Both of my grandparents, my grandfather from my father's side and my grandfather from my mother's side, they lived in Karbala. In the morning, they go to the shrine of Imam Hussein. And then they go to the shrine of Abu al-Fadl Abbas. They start their day by saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. They end their day by going to the shrine and then again saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. They didn't fly. They didn't go to Paris or Rome. Maybe as their grandson, I've traveled. I've been to many countries. They didn't travel. But their quality of life, their happiness, believe me, it was more than us. They didn't have emails. They didn't have WhatsApp. They didn't have Instagram. They didn't have iPhones and social media, right? But their lives were simple. They weren't complicated. The more we are advancing technologically, it's taking a toll on us. We're suffering. We're suffering. Maybe we've reached, NASA just showed new pictures of the galaxy, of the universe. Yes. But we still have suicides. We still have people on medications. We still have people suffering from depression, mental health. We're not advancing in that state. We're advancing technologically, but we're not advancing spiritually. Look at the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal-Asr. By the time, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Allah swears by the time that what? Insan lafi khus. That humankind is going behind. We're not advancing. We're going behind morally, spiritually, unfortunately. طيب. Now, this is, I was speaking, in general. Our communities, the Shi'i community, the Islamic community, we also have some features of mental health problems. Some in our communities, in our mosques, back home, in Iraq, in Pakistan, in Lebanon, in Iran. There are some that suffer from severe mental health issues, and there are some features that you find in several places. Let me give you a couple of examples. One, there's a feature that you see in some places. Some people claim to be Imam al-Mahdi. Have you seen this? This is a new trend. People with mental health issues, the first thing that they do is they say, I'm Imam al-Mahdi. We have this problem in Iraq. Several, after the fall of Saddam, several members, several individuals claim to be Imam al-Mahdi. And there are some that followed them and accepted them as Imam al-Mahdi. This person, he could either be a crook, and this is a possibility, that he's just a crook that is looking for followers. The other possibility is what? He's suffering from mental health. He has hallucinations. He has hallucinations, and he thinks that he's al-Mahdi. I have a friend, let me make you laugh a little bit. I have a friend, he said, I went to Najaf. I was in the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam. My friend he's a Sayyid, he's a scholar. He said, I saw a young man, he's wearing green, he's wearing a green cloth. He came to me and he said, do you know who I am? I told him, no, Bismillah, no. He said, I'm Imam al-Mahdi and you have to obey me and you have to follow me. He said, okay. He said, I will give him an answer. I will wake him up. I told him, oh, really? You're Imam al-Mahdi? He said, yes. He said, but aren't you in hiding? He said, no, I came out. He told him, but I did not give you permission to come out. He said, oh, I did not give you permission to come out. He said, who are you? He said, if you're Imam al-Mahdi, then I'm God. He said, look at this crazy Sayyid. Look at this crazy Sayyid. People like this, you have to speak to them this way in order for them to wake up. Every day there's someone that claims that he's al-Imam al-Mahdi. This is a prominent feature. Another feature of mental health issues in our communities, there are some, they see the imams in their dream every night. Every night. You know, we have this problem. As a Maulana, as a scholar, they call us. There are some people that call us all the time. Maulana, I saw a dream. Alaykum as-salam. I saw a dream. What is your dream? I saw Rasulullah in my dream. The next day, Maulana, I saw Imam al-Kadhim in my dream. Every day there's a different imam in his dream. It's as if the imams have nothing better to do than to come to this person in his dream. One day he's having breakfast with Rasulullah. The other day he's having lunch with Fatima al-Zahra. And the third day he's having dinner with Imam Rida, and so on. Every day there's a new dream. This is what? This is a mental illness. This is obsessive compulsive. You know, maybe you might see the Ahlul Bayt in your dream, but not every night. You have to see what you had for dinner that night. If every night you're seeing the imams in your dream, there's a problem in your dinner. I don't know what it is. You have to be sure. There's another feature of mental illness in our communities. Another problem that we have in some of our communities, those who repeat their wudu and their ghusl and their salah repeatedly. I've seen some. Sayyid, I keep on doubting my wudu. Did I do it correctly? Did I do it this way or that way? Did I brush my head during my wudu? And they repeat their wudu 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, 15 times. Ghusl. I don't know. These people, have they seen their water bill? What does it come out to? I don't know. God help them with their water bill. They perform their ghusl 6, 7 times. This is obsessive compulsive. Or they keep on repeating their salah. They doubt. Am I in the second rak'ah or the third rak'ah? Am I in the third rak'ah or the fourth rak'ah? And they keep on doubting their salah. Have you seen people like this? I've seen many. This is a mental health issue. This is obsessive compulsive. It's either because of OCD, it's an OCD, or it's because of depression, or some sort of mental health. I don't know. I'm not qualified to diagnose. طيب. For these people, Hajj becomes very difficult. Imagine going around the Kaaba 7 times, going between Safa and Marwa 7 times, stoning Shaitan 7 times. And there's 3 of them, each one 7. I was with an individual who had OCD. He did his a'mal, every single amal, he did it 5 times. Tawaf, he did it 5 times. When I say 5, that means 5 times 7. Each tawaf is 7 times. He'd repeat it again and again. Oh, did I lose my wudu? Let me do it again. This is not life. This person ruins his life. Hajj is meant to be enjoyable. Salah is meant to be enjoyable. Salah is not a curse. Salah is not a punishment from Allah. It's meant to be enjoyable. It's just like the food that we eat. When you eat, you have to enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, there's a problem. There's a problem with you. If you're not enjoying your salah and you keep on repeating it, there's a problem. You have to discover what that problem is. Hajj is meant to be enjoyable. Not that you do all the a'mal again and again and again and again because you have doubts. And here, Islam has a law. Islam says, لا شك لكثير الشك. He who doubts too many times, don't pay attention to your doubt. خلاص. Do your wudu once and that's it. Do your ghusl once and that's it. Do your salah once and that's it. Don't obsess. Don't obsess. There are some people in our communities, they have a fear of being watched. Is someone spying on me? Does someone have a camera? Or on my phone, there's an app that's spying on me. And they live in this paranoia of being watched. They have a fear of being watched, being spied on. Or this person is a spy, that person is a spy. This convert that just converted to Islam, he could be a spy. He works for the FBI. This is ridiculous. You can't live a life like this. This person, they will ruin their life and the lives of everyone that's involved in their life. He will ruin the life of his wife and his children and his grandchildren. This is not a way to live. Islam does not want this for anyone. طيب. Unfortunately, there are some in our communities, they give the wrong interpretation to mental health. You know, their son, their daughter, they have mental health problems, but they don't call it as such. They call it something else. I don't know. Do you have this in Pakistan or not? But we have this in Iraq, in Kuwait, in the Middle East, in the Gulf countries. They say this person is possessed by jinn. Come to me, Sayyid, my son is possessed by jinn. Can you recite a dua? No, he's not possessed by jinn. He has mental health issues. But because they don't want to admit, because they think it's a taboo, aib, how can my son have mental health problems? They come and they blame it on whom? The jinn. Or some say my son or daughter is possessed by magic. It's either jinn or magic every time. If it's not jinn, the son or daughter is possessed by magic. And then they come to me, they come to a sayyid or a sheikh or a scholar, and they want a solution for jinn. Sayyid, please read a dua for the jinn to leave my son, to leave my daughter. Or we want you to dissolve this magical spell. Someone has made a magical spell on my son. He can't sleep. He says, he has hallucination. This is not magic. This is not jinn. It's not positioned by jinn or positioned by magic. It's mental health. But because it's a taboo in our communities, we don't want to call it mental health. Because we're afraid someone will say, my son is crazy. My daughter is crazy. They need to see a professional. We're afraid of this taboo. We say it's jinn. We say it's magic. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. And unfortunately, this issue of jinn and magic, it's opened a business for some. It's become a business for some. There are some crooks that take advantage and they say, yes, your son is possessed by jinn. Give $500, cash, no credit. No credit. Bring cash and no checks either, and no money order. Bring me $500 cash, and I will make sure the jinn goes away. I will make sure the magic goes away. This became a business, a very profitable business. If your business is not doing so well, go in the jinn business. I encourage you. And go in the magic business, you'll do very good. You'll make a big business. There's a lot of crooks. And these crooks, they've become famous. And some of them, they come on TV. And they've developed an international fame. There's people here in the United States. There's crooks in Lebanon and Iraq. I don't know if you have them in Pakistan. They're everywhere. These crooks are everywhere. They call from the U.S. and they give money. Please help me with my son or daughter. They have jinn or they have magic. They're possessed. And we need to find a solution. They give in to these crooks and they give them money. They've made thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, these crooks. Why? Because they're simple-minded people that give into their business, unfortunately. Another issue is, another misconception is that if I have a mental health problem, if I have depression or anxiety, this means my iman is weak. I don't have strong iman. This is not correct. This is not correct. There are many people, there are many religious people that suffer from mental health issues. They suffer from depression or anxiety or bipolar. There are members of religious families, scholarly families, but they undergo depression. They suffer from depression. This means that they're not religious. There's a problem in their piety or faith in Allah Azza wa Jal. No. Mental health is an illness. It's just like cancer. If someone, God forbid, is diagnosed with cancer, does that mean that their iman is weak in Allah Azza wa Jal? No. It's an illness. It could happen to anyone, religious and non-religious, Muslim or non-Muslim, Iraqi, Pakistani, Khoja, Iranian. It could happen to anyone. It's an illness. It's a test from Allah Azza wa Jal. It's a trial from Allah. Just like cancer, kidney failure, heart problem, it could happen to anyone. So too can mental health. It doesn't mean that your faith is weak. And there are, unfortunately, some members in the community, they tell them that if you had strong faith, you would not have depression. Never say this. Never say this to anyone. It could happen to you. Someone who has depression, you tell them you have weak faith in Allah, you should recite Quran and dua, because you don't pray, because you're not religious, you have depression. This is wrong. This is a mistake. طيب. As I said, mental health does not mean you're crazy. Unfortunately, in our communities, we mix between insanity and mental health issues like depression, anxiety, OCD, these issues. This is not insanity. You're not insane. Your son is not insane. Your daughter is not insane. If they have mental health issues, it doesn't make them insane. It's a disorder that requires treatment. It requires going to a professional and seeking medication. It doesn't mean that they're insane and crazy. And unfortunately, a lot of people in our communities, they refuse to seek treatment because they're afraid people will say that they are crazy. We have to work on this. We have to do something. And finally, the importance of seeking treatment from professionals. There are some with mental health issues, they come to the Maulana. They come to the Sayyid or the Sheikh for treatment. This is a mistake. The Maulana, or they come for dua or something for their daughter or son that is suffering from mental health issues. This is a mistake. The Maulana is not a mental health expert. The Sheikh is not a mental health expert. We're not mental health experts. You have to go to the professionals, psychiatrists, therapists. These are the professionals. They've done their homework. This is an expertise. You go to them, and it could be solved maybe with a simple medication. One pill. Maybe one pill a day, and it will solve the mental health problem. No longer depressed. No longer hallucinations. They will go back to their normal routine. They'll go back to work. They'll fix their problems. Their marriage will be fixed. Their business will be fixed. You know, when you have these mental health problems, your entire life will be in disorder. Your marriage, your business, your children, your grandchildren, everyone will suffer. it could be fixed with one medication. The same medication that you take for cholesterol, for high blood pressure, you take one medication for depression, for example, for anxiety, and the problem is solved. Why is it that people think with mental health issues they can fix it by coming to the Sayyid or Sheikh? Why? If you have, God forbid, if someone has cancer, would they come to the Sayyid? No. They go to the hospital. They go to the doctor. Mental health is the same. Yes. Yes. There is no harm in seeking help from religion. There is no harm in getting a dua. But not at the cost of seeking professional help. Seek professional help. Go to a doctor. Get medication. But as a supplement, go to the Sayyid for dua. Recite Quran. Recite dua as a supplement. As something extra, do these. Yes. And it will help, inshallah. Quran helps. Dua helps. But to say that I don't need to go to a doctor, it's the same as a person with cancer says, you know what, I don't need to go to a doctor. I don't need chemotherapy. I will raise my hand in dua and Allah will cure. Allah will say before you say your dua, go see a doctor. Go seek medical help. And of course, and we conclude with this, the turba of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Yes, the turba of Imam Hussein has its effect. It has its effect, and it's for shifa. It's for treatment, but by seeking medical treatment at the same time. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam and Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. A hadith by Muhammad ibn Muslim, he narrates from Imam al-Baqir and Imam Sadiq that they said, Inna Allah ta'ala awwad al-Husayn alayhi salam. Allah replaced Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein sacrificed all that he had. His family, his children, his relatives, his companions. Allah gave him something else. What did he give him? 3 things. عوض الحسين من قتله أن جعل الإمامة في ذريته. First, he put the imamah in his lineage and not the lineage of Imam al-Hasan. The 9 imams, they're from the lineage of Imam Hussein. 2, والشفاء في تربته. He put the cure in his sand. In his sand. وإجابة الدعاء عند قبره. And he put the answering of the dua under his qubba, under his dome. عند قبره. The hadith says عند قبره. Next to his grave. It doesn't even say the dome. Next to his grave. You go and you say your dua, Allah will answer. ولا تعد أيام زائريه جائيا وراجعا من عمره. Subhanallah. And the days that you spend in the ziyarah of Imam Hussein, they're not counted from your life. They're not counted from your life. For example, if you were destined to live 70 years, how much is 70 years? How much is 70 years? Let's say 70 years is 900 months. The days that you go for ziyarah, it doesn't count from the 900 months. It's extra. So when you go for ziyarah of Imam Hussein and it takes, for example, a month, and you go every year, those months are not added. It's tax deductible, right? It's tax deductible. Then when you go for ziyarah, this will all be deducted, and it will add to your days of life, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ولا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا عيبا إلا سترته ولا خوفا إلا أمنته ولا رزقا إلا بسطته ولا شملا إلا جمعته ولا مرضا إلا شفيته ولا غائبا إلا حفظته وأدنيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة لك فيها رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها ويسرتها يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حجة الله، السلام عليك يا باعث الهدى ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا وارث آدم وصفة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا وارث علينا أمير المؤمنين ولي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى، السلام عليك يا ابن علي मुर्तज़ा। अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न फ़ातिमत ज़हरा सय्यदत निसाइल आलमीन। अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न खतीजतल कुबरा। अस्सलामु अलैका या सारल्लाह व इब्न सारे वल वित्रल मौतूर। अशहदु अन्नका क़द अक़मतस सलात व आतैत ज़कात व अमरत बिल मारूफ व नहैत अनिल मुनकर। अताअल्लाहु व रसूलुहु हत्ता अताकल यकीन। फलान अल्लाह उम्मतन क़तलतक वलान अल्लाह उम्मतन ज़लमतक वलान अल्लाह उम्मतन समिअत बिज़ालिक फरज़ियत बिह। अस्सलामु अलैका या मौलाई या अबा अब्दुल्लाह अशहदु अन्नका कुन्त नूरन फिल इस्लाम शामिखा वल अरहामिल मुत्तहरा लम तनज्जस्कल जाहिलियत बिअंदासिहा व लम तुलबिसका मिन मुज़लिमाति सियाबिहा। अशहदु अन्नका मिन दाइमिद्दीन व अरकानिल मोमिनीन। अशहदु अन्नका इमामुल बर्र तक़ियुर रज़ीज़ुल हादिल महदी। अशहदु अन्ना अइम्मतल मिन वलदिका कलमतल तक़वा व अलल हुदा व हुज्जत अहलिद दुनिया। अशहदु अल्लाहु मलाइकतहु व अंबिया व रुसुलु अन्नी बिकुम मुमिनुन व बिया बिकुम मूक़िन बिशराइ दीनी व ख़वातिम अमरी क़ल्बि लिक़ल्बिकुम सिल्म अमरी लिअमरिकुम मुत्तबिअन सलवातुल्लाहि अलैकुम व अला सादिकुम व अला इस्लामिकुम व अला शाहिदिकुम व अला गायिकुम व अला ज़ाहिरिकुम व अला बातिनिकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अस्सलामु अलैका या मौलाई या गरीबुल ग़ुरबा। अस्सलामु अलैका या मुइनुज़ ज़ुफ़ाफ़ वल फ़ुक़रा। अस्सलामु अलैका या मुग़ीस अश्शियत व ज़वारिफ़ यौमिल जज़ा। अस्सलामु अलैका या अनीस नफूस। अस्सलामु अलैका अय्युहल मदफ़ून बिर्रुदूस व अब्नाइकल अर्बा व आबाइक सबा व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अस्सलामु अलैका या मौलाई या साहिबल अस्र वज़ ज़मान। अस्सलामु अलैका या खलीफ़तुर रहमान। अस्सलामु अलैका या इमामल इंस वल जान। अलमान अलमान मिन फितनतिज़ ज़मान या कामिल कुफ्र व तुग़यान। अजलल्लाहु ताला फ़र्जक व सहलल्लाहु मख़रजक व ज़हूरक व अजनल्लाहु मिन अंसारिक व अवानिक व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व आलि अल्लाहुम्मा कुल्लि वलिय्यिकल हुज्जति इब्नुल हसन सलवातुका अलैहि व अला आबाइहि फ़ी हाज़िहि साअति व फ़ी कुल्लि साअ वलिय्यन व हाफ़िज़न व क़ाइदन व नासिरन व दलीलन व ऐना हत्ता तुस्किनहु अर्ज़क तौआ व तुमत्तिअहु फ़ीहा तवीला बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद।
तशरीफ़ रखें। अभी 10 मिनट में असल में ट्रैफिक में फंसे हुए हैं मुन्ना भाई हमारे, खाना लेके आ रहे हैं। बस वो कह रहे हैं कि 1 मील दूर हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल में 5 मिनट में, और हम तो दस्तरखान लगाएंगे उतनी देर में, तो फिर उसके बाद हम खाना शुरू करेंगे। शुक्रिया।